All right, for today's video review, we're going to be taking a look at Transformers Kingdom Wave 3 Deluxe Class tracks. I found Wave 3 of the Kingdom Deluxes at the in-store pickup at Best Buy of all places. But yeah, here we got tracks. It was probably my least anticipated figure from Wave 3, just because it's a few things that I've gotten that I'll get into later. But he's a pretty good figure. He's warmed on me quite a lot. But yeah, looks great in his car mode here. Now he's got the flames on the chest here or on the hood here. So I guess so. The original toy detail had the yellow kind of outlining it, but in the cartoon it was just red. So they've elected to go for the just red cartoon accurate detail, which is fine. I would have preferred the yellow, but it's warming on me a little bit. I was thinking I was really going to need to get some repro labels or something to add the yellow to complete it, but I think it looks good enough. But yeah, like I said, it's got a pretty nice car mode. He rolls pretty well, which is, honestly something that can't be expected from from a lot of, Generations toys these days. So I'm glad that he rolls relatively well. He comes with two weapons here, which don't really store in this mode. Like, I mean, they do, but they don't. So you get his little missiles here and his little gun, and you can peg the gun onto the missiles, and then you can just put it on top of the car like that. Yeah, this is not storage. This is hardly a problem that is unique to tracks, but yeah, kind of a bummer that they don't really do integrated weapon storage in vehicle mode anymore. It's something that drives me absolutely nuts, because for me, if it doesn't store in vehicle mode like in a discrete way, like robots in disguise, then it doesn't really store at all. Like, it pretty much, I treat it as they didn't come with any accessories and just put the weapons off in a box, which is a bummer. But yeah, I think for this guy, the accessories don't end up being like super crucial in robot mode either. But yeah, you can put it there. You could like put it to the side of the car, I guess. You could put it on the back of the car and have it so the back wheels don't touch the ground. Not really any good way to store it, but yeah, there they are. I'll put them off to the side for now. But yeah, I'll show them off with some other Autobot cars. Here we all have them with Cliff Jumper and Sideswipe, just to get a size, idea there, and then Optimus Prime, of course. So you can see, scales relatively well. Like with a lot of these guys, most of the deluxe cars like are a little bit too big to scale with Optimus and like Cliff Jumper. Like this scales well and this scales well, but these guys should be a little bit smaller to scale with them. But it works well enough, I think. But yeah, so he's got 2.5 modes, kinda. If you're familiar with tracks, then he does the stupid flying car thing, and he does have that mode. So to get him to that mode, I'll just go there first because it's pretty much on the way in transformation. You want to take these panels here that are these arms that are tabbed into the side here, and you want to bring them down. Now, the best way to do this, I found, is to like loosen this panel a little bit so you get that gap there, and then pull it down from like that. Because if you just try to pull it straight down, it locks in there so tightly that it doesn't really work. Like, you do have to kind of loosen that panel a little bit just to get, there's a little notch right there that it's tabbed into to pull it down like that. And then you pull it out to the side like this, just bring it 90 degrees, and then take the actual arm section itself and rotate it forward, leaving the wing out to the side there. And then you're supposed to rotate these around, so he's got the robot mode forearm detail there, and then he's got little fins in the back here that you can see just fold out like that. And there you have him in his flying car mode. And then, of course, you're supposed to just take the weapons and put them there, which looks a lot better in this mode, but like, kind of defeats the purpose of having those fins there if the missiles are also there. But that's kind of how it's supposed to be. Like, it's supposed to look like that in this mode. But yeah, again, I think it looks better like this. But since these don't store in every mode, I put it off to the side, but just so you can see what they look like. But yeah, for what it is, it does look pretty good. Obviously the arms aren't like really tabbed in anywhere, but the joints are tight enough that it doesn't really create too much of a problem. What's weird is the wings have a bit of a slant downward. Like, you can see they're forming a very slight V here. I don't think it messes with the look too much, but worth noting. Oh, the other thing is, like, I have a hard time getting this panel to sit totally flush. Like, it's such a small gap that it doesn't matter so much, not just in this mode, in car mode as well, but it's a little bit annoying. But yeah, Then to continue on for the oh my gosh, my tripping all over my words there. But to continue on with the rest of the transformation, you can just fold the little wings back in since they stay stored like that for robot mode. Leave the arms as they are now. Now you want to separate the hood here from this section, and it's kind of scary just because like starting here and going all the way back, this is all clear plastic and it tabs in really securely, and you kind of have to like crack it like that to unhinge it here, and it feels like once you know that it can do that, it feels a little bit less dangerous. But like the first time I had to do that, it just really felt stuck in place because it's like holding on to these tabs here, and I was really worried that this entire section would just crack. So it's a little bit scary, but you know, it's okay. So you can just untab it like that, and then for the legs here, you want to bring the feet up like that. It's kind of a series of weird hinges here, and then you want to bring them down like this, untab the legs here, open up these panels, everything's getting a little bit in the way, and then from there you can unhinge the legs like this. I've got a series of like weird hinges in here, and then bring this whole panel with the feet on it, and then bring that down like that, and then the panel that was underneath the car has a little slot right there that goes onto that tab there, so you tab that in, and then there's like a couple grooves right here that kind of, they don't really lock this piece in place, but they give it a place to sit, just kind of so it isn't flopping around, so that panel sits in there like that. So it's a little bit clumsy, but you know, it's not too bad once you know where everything goes. You just bring it down like that, tug that panel in, and then put that panel in, and then you can rotate them around at the waist here. You take this whole section of the hood here, and it just folds back on the hinge like that, and then it rotates like this around the head. You have to have this piece kind of like hinged up like this. You can't have it like all the way back or more forward, because then it, like if you have it like this, for example, it kind of bumps and scrapes on the head. So you really have to have it like, you can kind of see where there's just enough clearance there that it can rotate around without touching the painted white head there. And then we'll just leave that there for now. Take this panel here with the Autobot symbol on it, and then it extends out, usually. There we go. Like that, and then the whole lower section double hinges in, and it locks in a couple places, so you'll want to hear it click a couple times. Yep, there we go. And then this panel, you can just push a little bit deeper in. Like, it doesn't really say that in the instructions, so I think it's supposed to be all the way out, but just to make it a little bit more flush, then you can push it in. The hands are just folded into the arms here, and you can bring them down at the shoulders, just the wings, and then this section here, this back panel, you want to fold down like that. It's on a double hinge, and you want to fold it up pretty much just like that, and it does kind of do that like movie toy thing where it just has like most of the car is like a shell on the back, but at least it does tab into place nicely, so it's not like flopping around or anything like that. So yeah, there you have Trax in his robot mode, and you know, he looks pretty good. Obviously, I have my big complaint with this is that he does cheat. Like, he's got the faux chest here. The reason that this was not a total deal breaker with me is because like the chest is like such a different shape than the hood of the car, and like the Autobot symbol has the yellow around it. It almost like barely looks like the hood of the car anymore. So for me, that's good enough where I can just say like, hey, this interpretation of Trax does not have the hood of the roof of the car as his chest. And it still looks a little bit similar to that for the visual aesthetic, but it is just not like, that's not where the roof of the car ends up for this iteration of Trax. And that's good enough for me. There's other ones like Runabout and Runamuck where it just so obviously looks like that's meant to be the roof of the car, even though it's fake and smaller, that is a deal breaker for me. But with this guy, it pretty much just to me looks like he's just got like a different techie detailed chest rather than it being the actual roof of the car. But yeah, to finish off the look, you can take the accessories. So part of the, what's sad about this not storing in other modes is like the iconic thing with Trax is that he's got like his missiles here. I mean, there's a number of iconic things with Trax, but like that's one of the visual aesthetics that people really care about. But I don't feel so bad losing it because the way that it works in this toy is you just peg it on top here, and I don't think that looks very good. Like, really, the missiles are supposed to be coming off the side here, so for me, like I'm happy to just not have it there at all and just, have it tracks without the missiles. But if you need to have the missiles, that's how it works. But unfortunately, this just doesn't store any other mode, and it doesn't really. I mean, I guess yeah, you can store the gun on the back here just by pegging it in like that, and you can do that with the missiles too. It's just pretty much where they were in car mode. So I guess if you wanted to instead of having them pointing forward, having them peeking up like that looks a little bit better. But again, for me, like they don't store in car mode, so I just leave these accessories off to the side, treat it like he doesn't have weapons, and that's fine with me. But obviously he can hold either of these pieces or both, or both of them combined, and looks okay. But for my purposes, I'm just gonna put them in a box because they don't store in vehicle mode, and it drives me nuts. But yeah, articulation wise, his head is on a ball joint here. It's got a pretty good range. I mean, his like side pieces here kind of nudge up against his chest, so he can only look right to left about that much, but that's pretty much all you need. I can't look right to left much more than that, so it's fine that he can't. And his head can get a little bit of a tilt up and down. The shoulders here, they have got a swivel right there. The wheels tend to bump into the side a little bit, not too much, but worth mentioning. You can fold out to the side there, obviously with or without the wings. I feel like on one arm, the joint with the wing is a little bit tighter than without it. So like this one always takes the wing with it, and this one only sometimes does, which is nothing really, not worth. That's not a problem in any way. He's got a bicep swivel, a slightly under 90-degree bend at the elbow there. The wrist can go in and out, but no rotation. He's got a waist joint that works perfectly fine. He's got a little flap here so that you can move the hips forward, move them back about that much, move them all the way up to the side, thigh swivel, maybe a degree or two under 90 at the knee, and then he's got ball joints at the feet, just kind of weirdly connected to the side there like that. So he gets good angle tilt from that, but it does have kind of an awkward gap when you're looking at it from the front, but that's okay. He's a robot. He can have slightly weird joints, but yeah, pretty good articulation. Nothing really too fancy, but gets the job done. I can show him off here with the Autobots again. Here's Cliff Jumper and Sideswipe and Optimus. So you can see, pretty average size Deluxe. Deluxe fits in well with them. They they look pretty good together. And then just to show him off with his wave mates here. Here he is with Wing Finger and Scorponok. You can see one's too tall, one's too short, and this one's just right. I don't actually have a problem with their heights. Just figured I'd do the Goldilocks joke there. But yeah, no, he's a pretty good figure overall. The cheating is my main issue with it, but again, like I can forgive it just because it looks different enough that I can just headcanon that the roof of the car actually isn't his chest in robot mode, and that works well with me. And again, that's probably not going to be a thing that bothers most people anyway, but just worth mentioning. Another really small complaint that I have is that they put the the little like code that they have to tampo on him just in red in plain sight on the front of his leg. Kind of annoying. Wish that was somewhere a little bit more hidden, but that's not a big deal at all. And then yeah, the weapon storage thing is annoying to me just because I'd like him to actually be able to have his weapons, but if it doesn't store in vehicle mode, I don't know. It just kind of ruins it for me. So I put him off to the side. But again, that's not even a thing that bothers most people. And yeah, other than that, he's a well-made figure. This is a little bit loose in some of the joints, but not too bad. Certainly holds a pose. And definitely comparable to a lot of the other Kingdom figures. But yeah, that's pretty much all there is to say about him. If you enjoy my videos, make sure to leave a like and consider subscribing. I do reviews every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. And without further ado, here we have Transformers War for Cybertron Kingdom Deluxe Class Tracks.